Rightio, show us your tips. We're here to look at the Everest Day, the rest of the Everest card. You can find the standalone preview of our thoughts on every Everest runner on our YouTube and Spotify feeds. We're going to also look at the Caulfield Cup, a tremendous, one of the best days of racing all year. I've got two blokes with me who I've carried to cricket premierships. Johnny's joined us, and the Beaver's still here. So.
I'm out.
So, but also purport to be very good judges of racing. So we're going to hopefully get through all of that and find a few winners on a tremendous card. Beaver, what have you made of the rest of what's going on?
Just saying to Johnny while you were in the ladies' room, what an interesting card it was, and that you don't have to find too many winners here to probably come out in front on the day. And it was kind of like you did the form, you found something, you went back to check something. It was really really
a generally interesting outing.
Yeah.
Like I spent more time on this I think than I've spent on any card all year.
Yeah, you could have,
willingly so.
Yeah,
not sitting there going 2 hours later going, fucking who do I pick here?
No, it still was.
It was like,
it still was.
Yeah, you're kind of reading, why do I like this? And then you're sort of digging through and why do I like this? Yeah, so it was an interesting card. It's going to be a good meet. Obviously, some of the early races, I would have preferred a better race first
them
up
to be
because, well, you kind of want the first few races to give you a bit of a guide on the track and the condition and how if there is any favouritism. And this is 2,600
It's actually why you don't
slugs.
I hadn't thought of this, but it's actually why you don't mind the sort of highway and midway warm up because you go, okay.
I'm not going to bet, but I can watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
so, cut you off there.
That's it.
Beauty. Johnny, welcome aboard. Who are you? And what do you bring here? What do you bring to the table?
Apparently got carried to some cricket premierships, and that's it. No, I've loved the spring so far. I think there's been some really good racing, some really good horses stepping up. I think the worry heading into spring was there was like a bit of a dearth in the very top level, and thankfully I think we've got a good 3-year-old crop. So it's been fun to follow them, and a lot of them find themselves into this card, so it should be good.
Right, we're going to head to Randwick first, where we've all said it will be hopefully a softish 5. You're saying good. Keep an eye on it. Rail and the True, I suggest by the end of the card, they're fanning. Standard Randwick.
Typical.
Everyone should get their chance if they're good enough. I would hope. And we kick off with the Group 3 St Ledger, 2,600 metres. And wow. Who wants to have first strike?
You can.
All right.
You're the biggest slug. You're the closest to these.
I am closest to these, and I'm half a chance running fourth in this race. But I actually...
The last 100 might hurt.
Well, the thing is, even the markets, like I set out here going to make this case for Allegron, and it comes up favourite, and so I have no interest. Waltham's a horse I had an opinion of. Gets net Blake Shin. Second up, somehow Zach Lloyd managed to get boxed in with no horse outside it. It's one of the great efforts last time out. I still don't know what happened there, but once it got clear, it should have finished probably second in that race. B Shin goes all right. He's good at riding horses. I say third up. Wet, softish track, probably suits. Put it on top from Allegron, but that's about all I've got to say, Beaver. Yeah.
I'm not going to say much more. I come up with Waltham as well, only for the same reason, but this race is awful. I won't be betting, but if I had to, if you gave me some money, that's what I'll be on.
Fair enough.
Well,
it's a PCTC tip.
I found the winner, but he's not in the race. I don't know what Major Beale's not doing here.
Major Beale would have walked this in.
What are they doing? I don't know why he's been sent as fodder in the King Charles, but you're pricing this of ifs and buts, aren't you? Like you said, you probably look at this, go, you're making a case for Allegron. It's $4. Waltham's unlucky, $6. Are you taking those prices? Absolutely not. Move on to the next.
Yeah, exactly right. The second is the Big Dance Wildcard, which gets the winner a ticket into the Cup Day extravaganza, a $2 million race there. Again, I don't think it's necessarily blow away, but it sounds like you're keen on this one. This is over a mile. This is, what do you got?
Yeah, at first look in this race, you think it's just a random bunch of horses, but then you kind of break it down a little bit, and I found Ducasse on top. The market's I kind of started with Chorlton Lane as my focal point and kind of worked way around there. And you kind of look at its runs and it's stepping up to the mile. I wasn't all that impressed. But then you look at Ducasse's form and you can strike some lines through that tie it back to Chorlton Lane that suggest it's going to be much better than anything they can put up. Gets a really nice gate, really nice map, should sit anywhere midfield with cover. And then the other horses like the High Dandies, Too Much Caviar, You know what they are. They're tried, and I'm not really keen to take him here. Thunderlips, I don't think, runs out a mile. The only other one I might look at is Berkshire Shadow. I think he's down in class. He looked terrible last time looking at him. So if there's any improvement, I'd be tempted.
Is that the Epsom?
Yes. Yep. I think Ash Morgan still sticks here as well. So
no, you got Zach. Zach Dubb.
Oh, well, there you go. Even better. Best Zach in the country. And, yeah, but I think looking at it last night, I thought Ducasse should be favourite, and as I just scroll through, he's into 420 and favourite. So wish I took the 550 last night, but, yeah, he's my on-top pick. I'm pretty keen on him.
Beaver.
Yeah, I thought there was only 2 chances, which Johnny's touched on there with Ducasse and Chorlton Lane. My concern with Chorlton Lane, it's been up for a bit. And 5 starts back, the win was outstanding, and then...
My other concern is any hint of cut out of the track. I think it needs a bone-dry track.
Yep.
As well.
And so that's had me a little bit concerned. It's sort of been threatening the last 4 starts to do something, and they've been, sort of 3, 6, 5, 7. They're kind of outs. And I think you're right. Ducasse is sort of 4th up here, gets to peak fitness here, and the runs will probably look a little bit better than what they actually look on the position where it's finished.
Well, it's finally drawn a gate.
Yeah,
and it goes from D Gibbons to Z Lloyd.
And it's behind horse like Here to Shock when it was 20 to 1. So it's not the worst form in the world. So probably just gets the better run here. Might be a bit more suited close to the pace earlier on in the day.
I thought I might cover the leaders. I don't really like the race. I'm going to, for the sake of a tip High Dandy from Thunderlips, but Thunderlips, only because Thunderlips have been outside lead every start this time. Probably is again, but it gets D Gibbons. So I ended up demoting that. High Dandy, back the leader when in doubt, was what I defaulted to.
Oh, I was sick last start. Got done by a 100-metre shot sneak preview. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So maybe Ducasse is the absolute obvious, and you've both made a very good case for it. The third is the 1,400-metre Group 3 for the fillies. What is it, Reginald Allen or something? Yeah, Reginald Allen. This is essentially a midweek race. I may as well go first here, and I'm going to just throw in here the fact we've got some Waller fillies coming off a Wednesday where they should have won. Tied up on a Saturday in a group race, and they're both going to be 20s, and that's Canara. Took forever to get going last time out at Rose Hill, but that was the leader's Rose Hill. I think this is a better setup, and it's $13 and good sort. I think it's a horse I've had a bit of an opinion of. It's a Saturday winner, gate 14. If we are down outside and at 30s, I'm going to have something on it. Tricky business. I could understand, and I'm sure you will, Johnny, you making a case for Dominetta. I can understand the case for Forgiving Wings of Desire in the Storm. And I tell you what, Island Deck might have a bit of ability too. But predominantly, if I bet here, this isn't really something I'm throwing into, but the 2 Waller horses, 12 and 3, will be the 2 I will entertain. Beaver.
Yeah, no harm in backing Waller horses that are sort of 15s to 20s to 25s, that's for sure.
Get into grand finals, yeah.
Yeah, they do bob up. I've gone for the most promising horse in the field, and that's Dominetta. I think it's got the upside here. Look, it's that first up win was very promising. The 1,400 now, it suits. Probably looking, probably wants further. But look, I think this is a fairly average field. Gate 9's perfect. Can sit where it wants, and I think it's got the most potential.
I hope it wants to lead. Is my concern, but yeah, Johnny.
Yep, Dominetta for me as well. I think she's really promising. I think she's on a 1,000 Guineas path. You go back through from her very first trial to now. First of all, she's a Zoo Star by Debonair, so she's a half to Hartnell, which is a great start, stepping up to 1,400 from the 12. So her first ever trial, she trialled behind Fully Lit, outsped her. Fully Lit obviously goes on to have a pretty good 2-year-old campaign, gets tipped out, comes back, some nice trials. First up win was a maiden, but she was gone.
Super maiden.
Yeah, she was gone, and then she just rallied back in typical Gay fashion, and they gapped the rest. And I think 1,200 up to 1,400 is absolutely ideal. Beautiful trials in between. She's been racing against some pretty seasoned horses still on the bridle. Gay doesn't usually do that.
Owned Rocketing by
so she usually likes to get them up and running. So I feel like she's been prepping her to peak on 1,000 Guineas Day. Given that, I've taken the early 51s, because I think if she wins here today, she's going to become one of the prominent players in that race in about a month's time. So
where is the 1,000 Guineas? It used to be yesterday. It used to be on the Wednesday, remember?
For the 3-year-old fillies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on November 16th, the week after Melbourne Cup.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, so you got about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always used to be on the Wednesday in the Caulfield Cup week.
Yeah, ever since they rejigged their
Guelph
calendar.
and all those sort of horses that go down there. Yeah.
Yep. But like I said, she's beautifully bred. She's well prepped. I think she's a really good chance. And yeah, I jumped in early, and she's another one that's coming to 420. So really nice to like. The only negative is Tim Clark off because he's down in Melbourne and Hippo on, but I don't think there's much pacey, so I think she'll get a good run.
He's got some decent rides tomorrow. On Saturday, Tim Clark too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And rode very well on Wednesday. A couple of horses at the farm.
I think he's the best jockey that people don't realise is a top 3 jockey. I think he's
he had a
phenomenal.
dry spell
Great
as well.
on pace too.
Yeah.
Just keeps him so balanced. I think he's a
And
great
strong.
job. Yeah.
The Mile Angst Stakes for the mares is up next. Another Group 3 race. Do you want to talk about your grey friend here?
Yes, but she's got another friend that ties in with her as well. So Lekvart, walking out of Randwick first up, that was a horse I wanted to follow. Our exact words were Mile Mare's next race, and look what she's found here. The map's a bit negative, but I don't care. I think she's really well placed. She's not giving that much weight away to some pretty average horses here. Like, there's a lot of fillers here that probably just taking a swing because they can. So I think she's going to be primed for this. But then if you like Lekvart out of that first up run, you've got to like Sounds of Heaven as well. She needed the run. You look at how she hit the line. She might just need a little bit further, so she might be caught flat-footed second up. But she was really hitting the line and was pretty much alongside Macarena 100 metres after the line last start. So you can draw lines through those. I'll be keeping an eye out, seeing how the track's playing. If they rock up any signs that they've improved, I will be on.
So you're saying the Amelia's dual lead-up's better than the midweek lead-ups, essentially?
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
And Hinged is Hinged. If you get beat by Hinged,
You just, it's
At
900
350
days
or whatever,
between.
you
Yeah,
cop it.
please.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
here's a chance to take on a third of the market for a horse that doesn't know. And when you actually go watch the
And drawn 13.
and people tip it as well, but when you actually go watch the Hinge last run, it was just happy to be there. She was just like out there for a day out.
She was chilling.
Slugging along.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Beaver, who's going to win this,
Tough race. The wide barriers are a bit of concern for the top two. I know Jenni likes the toppy here, but and could run very well here. I just went for Zalotti's. I thought the form that it's at the moment, I know it's got to come from Melbourne to Sydney, but this is not the strongest race going, and winning form and solid form is good form. Beggs brought it here. It's got McAvoy gate 5. I thought that was a tick for me, upside. And I thought the main two dangers came in number 4, Quickstar, and Watch My Girl. Watch My Girl's been excellent. Third up here, they're solid runs against horses that have come out and since won. So you can't rule out that form. But I went Zalotti's on top, Watch My Girl, and a little bit of a watch on Quickstar.
If you like Watch My Girl, you have to have something at 50s on Mountaintop.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to have something at 50s on Mountaintop. I'll probably tip it in PCTC. My top tip is Lekvart, for all the reasons Johnny said. I like Quickstar, and there's a part of me that almost just wants to back Watch My Girl and Mountaintop because they're tied to each other and they do come through. I think there's upside. The trial since of Mountain Girl was good too. No, not Mountain Girl. What's the name? Watch My Girl. It was good. And Chica Mojito will go into an early quaddie. Should that be on the table? But yeah, Lekvart, I assume if she win, lose or draw, she should just go down and win the Greys race in 3 weeks in Cup Day because she's pissing. But I think she'll come back and fine Fettle. The Kosciuszko's next, 1,200 metres, a couple of $1 million. And don't we just get an easy... He just turns up for this race every year and wins it, front page. You got J-Mac on, and you would go back and look at his form, just spends his life in first grade, chases around Dantino, chases around Marzu, chases around Zapateo, comes back to a highway, starts 240, J-Mac jumps on, leads, and wins. I think it was one of the easier ones to find on the day. Boom Talk, I'm going to make the main danger. Gets Nash from an inside gate. 1.4 lengths off NCAP is a nice setup for this. And the tick over trial was good. And when I talk about early quarters, I would entertain Far Too Easy, Tribeca Star, Gallant Star, and Compelling Truth gets hoof filler, but is a well-bred Guru conveyance. Might just go one out anyway. But what do you think, Beaver?
Yeah, I'm going to go front page as well for all the same reasons that you've said. Gate 5's perfect here. It's got the right combination. It's got Macca on board. Clearly on top here, and I thought Far Too Easy could run well as well. Goes well second up, 3 from 5, so it's going to be hardest to beat.
Johnny?
Front page.
That it?
Yep.
Very good. Don't do that again. Righto. Race number 6 is the Sydney Stakes, which is the consolation for the Everest. 1,200 metre weight for age. Absolute cracker. They're all going to be here because they can't scratch under the race conditions unless they're in the Everest. What do you like?
Look, I think Overpass is going to be popular, but just kind of diving into his form. First up's great, but Randwick, he doesn't have a great record. So that kind of softened me a little bit on him. I went looking for him first. Think about it. I don't know. But I just kept coming back to why is Lady Laguna $18? Just a magnificent trial against the very elite. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky setup, but if the running line's in play, I think she's more than good enough to be rounding up some of these horses, which I don't think are going amazingly well. I think Marzu's a great chance. He's racing in great form. Probably would have wanted a bit more sting, but some of his runs on good tracks have been good enough to win something like this. So, yeah, they're the two I'm looking for, but Lady Laguna each way looks a good chance.
Yeah, I've gone for Overpass. I'm hoping that handles the Randwick track okay. I think this sets up really nicely for it. Gate 8 is a perfect draw. Only had the one start last prep and got the chockies, and I think this is a very winnable race, assuming it doesn't somehow get a start in the Everest. I had it on top, and I thought one of the main dangers was Arkansas Kid. I think Arkansas Kid's flying at the moment. 4 runs in this prep and hasn't finished worse than second. And I can't see why it can't run a really big race here. Given gate 6, it can get into a good posse and be there or thereabouts.
I've gone with Overpass on top as well. I think the horse going well. For a Sydney horse, it spends all its time elsewhere, but I thought the trial was fantastic. It's going to be on pace. There's a fantastic association with Josh Parr. That race over in Perth, I think Bella was in it. Bella Nipotina, Amelia's Jewel were all in it. Does have to do it here, as you said, and does have to do it with Bjorn training it, but I think it's on top from Mumbai Muse. Was climbing over the heels of Marzu and Co. last time out. Could have finished closer in his big price. I agree with Lady Laguna, and I agree with Arkansas Kid as champions. Chances.
No mentions of Southport Tycoon. I know why I'm not against it, but any reason?
I penned the Manicato because I already had in my head that I was getting rid of Growing Empire. I got rid of it along the way. What's your reason?
I think just sticking to the 1200. I would have loved him to get over a little bit more ground.
All age stakes would interest me.
Yes. Yeah, great shout, actually. Yeah. But, and he might just get smothered in the big field.
Nothing else? Didn't look at it?
No, not really.
I had a couple looks at King of Sparta here, but then sort of Jared did he probably wants Caulfield 1,100 metres. And probably could have won that race down there, but anyway. We've got the Everest kicking off the quarter, 1,200 metres. Well, we've all spoke about our thoughts on the other show, but just quickly, Beaver, who are you tipping?
Yeah, I tipped Bella Nipotina to beat I Wish I Win and Traffic Warden.
I went IME from Traffic Warden from I Wish I Win.
I got Sunshine in Paris and Traffic Warden equally at the top.
Very good. You can check that out on our feeds. And then we're going to get to the Silver Eagle, 1,300 metres for the 4-year-olds, and a very good race here. Beaver, have at it.
Yeah, very good race here. Interesting race. A couple of the main chances are drawn very wide here, which was a little bit of a concern for me, particularly ones that probably need to take up a bit of position, like Ostraka and V8. So a bit concerned where they might get in the run. Definite chances and wouldn't turn anyone off. I'm going for Stretan Angel.
Okay, yeah.
I really liked the last run. Again, third up here. Suits. It is a horse that probably does get a little bit back in the field and is capable of a really powerful finish. I like the way that it got home against Right to Party last start. That was outstanding down the straight track, but Right to Party is a beast down there. So I think it can run really well here. Only won 2 from 11, but there or thereabouts in most of its starts. So got it on top, but certainly scared of Ostraka. It's a horse that I've backed first 2 starts in this prep and got the chockies. So I probably would at least save on it. And V8's a good horse as well.
Johnny?
V8's a really good horse. I know the map kind of looks tricky, but when you look at it, he could probably just slide over and find himself in a nice spot. I'm happy to forgive his first up run, even though it was the Manicato. I think he's better than that, obviously.
100%.
Yeah, and 1300's a bit trending into a more suitable race setup for him. So I thought he was a chance, but do I want to jump into the $6 based off his first up run? Not at the moment, but if he does look good on the day, I can see myself backing him. Look, Port Lockroy was an interesting runner. I promised myself after the Canberra Guineas I'd never be hurt by this horse again. But
yeah, sorry, Cam. Sure.
yeah, so Port Lockroy, I can see why he's going to have a lot of fans, especially that first up run. But I think it's a very different pace shape. So it's left me with Komachi on top, but it's not a race that I'm going to be looking to bet on. I can just tick a lot of boxes with her. But I don't see why Moravi is paying almost double what a striker is, and I feel like anything that he had negatively against him kind of swings back in his favour here. So they're the interesting runners to me, and I'll probably make a decision late.
Well, you mentioned 1, 4 and 5 for me. A striker, thank you, mate, is Airborne. Airborne demolished them up in N. We've been on the right side of him in all 3 of those runs. Demolished him up in Queensland, came back, is flying, gets Blake Shin. I said he's good at jockeying. Moravia is twice the price and sat outside lead and finished alongside. Komachi coming back. I thought that was quite a good run actually in the
racing well,
in the race. I keep knocking, but but I think he's racing well and fits here as well. Anything else? No, that's about it. I understand what you said about the V8, and I understand what he's about Stretan. It's a good find actually. I didn't give it a lot of thought. The 9th is the King Charles Stakes over the mile, and Pride of Jenni rolls back in here. We know what she did last time. She was at Randwick. We know what she did last time out. Interesting, in a 4-horse race, out of the 2 horses that finished 3rd and 4th, Amenable won last week, quite comfortably, and Antino did what Antino did last week. So all the form around her stacks up. She's going to lead. Major Bill's going to... What I like about her in this race is there's not even a tugboat to pull everyone else into it, which J-Mac will whinge about again, but he's going to be last. The other horse is going to be probably 30 lengths away. Sting out of the ground doesn't matter. The closest pace there is Major Bill, and why would he want to burn himself when there's no other gay runners in the race? Who's going to drag everyone else into this field?
Zugotcha is the only one I could think of.
Without a jock.
Yeah, so...
My take on Zugotcha was that potentially he'll scratch Fangirl and put J-Mac on Zugotcha for the sake of the run.
Yeah,
because it's still no jockey. Well, as of right now, there's no jockey.
Yep.
Because I think she's too good a horse to run as a sacrifice.
Agreed.
You'd go and put Lindemann or something in this.
Unless he finds another ride for Ben Osmond, but yeah.
But I just think there's no chases. And Pride of Jenni on top, and I went through and I thought that was a race. I'd spent enough time on this card by now, and I just thought she'll win again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you. And I think barrier 11 at Randwick's an even bigger tick. Like, she can just jump, find her feet, build through the gears. By the time they get to the bend, she's going to be able to work over and establish herself in front. Like you said, Major Beal, I think maybe that first 200-300 metres, they might see how far in front they jump, if they do jump at all, and see what they can do from there. But I don't think it makes a difference. Like I said, he should be in a St. Ledger and a chance. Yeah. If you're looking at horses to beat, Chalwolf is obviously a very talented horse.
Run second, Chalwolf.
Yeah, but I'm disappointed they chose this race after his last run. I thought he had some better options. My Oberon, I'm a fan of, but I just think he's outclassed here. And like I said, Fangirl, maybe, but Pride of Jenni takes the strength of every other horse and throws it in the bin and says, catch me if you can. Yeah. And I don't think they will.
No, I agree. Pride of Jenni clear on top for me. Chow Wolf, horse I have huge opinion of, and I would have loved to see it somewhere else. I'm kind of disappointed they've taken it here because Pride of Jenni's just too good for these.
I was trying to think of the logic. In second for 850K.
Not bad, is
That's
it?
probably what they're playing for. Yeah, but I mean,
and they'll probably be happy to frickin' watch her piss off and have them all fight out second after straight.
But you think he's too good of a horse to be doing that? Like, while he's up and flying, you think, find a nice race for him to
Would you have given Wolf a shout in the Caulfield Cup?
100% I would have.
Yeah, 16 to 24,
I know that's the whole, but yeah.
When we get to the Caulfield Cup, I think there's a little bit of a gap of 2,400 metre horses where there's a lot of 2,000 and a lot of 3,200. He would have fit in perfectly, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Zugotcha, because I thought the same originally about Zugotcha, and I thought, why? And especially if no jockey booked. Because, like I said, you could have just got Ben Osman and said, go on, Kamikaze.
Yeah. Is she dual nommed for anything?
I haven't gone that far.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. The last is a 400-metre benchmark 88, and when I just saw this field after doing the rest of this card, and oh my God, and then I got through it and I thought, well, I think there's only 2 chances and one's come out. I think Willaidow, we talked about it off air, wasn't a complete believer, but its 2 wins have been very dominant. It leads this, it gets J-Mac, possibly cranky J-Mac after he just got beat by Pride of Jenni again, but there's not many chases. It towered most of the competition here.
Yep.
There's not a lot of DF, like Gambari fresh, and Well Time's gone to the other race. I've got it clearly on top, and I think Battleton's going well enough, better than its form reads and might be the danger. Iron Man, you can tie in, going well. Like, what else do I say? I just thought, end of the day, Willaidow ended up being one of the better bets on the card, really, and it doesn't sit comfortably with me, but couldn't find much opposition. Beaver.
I come up with the same when Well Time was scratched. I thought there was only 2 chances, and now it does. You're right. I think it now looks one of the better bets on the card. Probably can dictate terms and jiggy jog along, and J-Mac on board. They're going to have to run past, and when it's had control, those 2 runs, it's won pretty easily. So it's going to take some beating. Hopefully, I'm in front, climbing to the last few races, because I think I can finish off strong here.
Yeah. Yep. Johnny?
Yeah, I was trying to find something to beat it. Look, I like Iron Man, but it kind of had its chance last start, and it couldn't overrun Willaidow, and you just left with it on top. I'll probably back Willaidow just to back a few roughies, and I thought Ruby Flyer was a good improver second up. Yep. Really nice horse. Definitely needed the run first up, and it's gone up 61s, and I thought that's probably overreacting to its overreacting to its first up run where it definitely needed it. So,
it shouldn't be twice the price of Diamond Diesel.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really nice horse. Obviously gets the claim.
Franz has been one of all of ours, really.
Yeah, but probably not going to be wet enough.
Rightio. I guess are we doing a team quaddie or am I just doing a quaddie?
You go for it.
I'll do the 3rd leg.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks. All right. First leg, we're going to go 1 Wish I Win. 3 Private Eye, 4 Bella Nipotina, 5 I Am Me, 7 Sunshine in Paris, 10 Traffic Warden. Second leg will go 1 V8, 4 Ostraka, 5 Moravia, 11 Kimochi, 12 Stretan Angel, 14 Kunasana. I don't know why it's here, but I've tipped it like the last 8 shows, so I'm just going to throw it in the quaddie. It could have won 4 races by now. Third leg, 6 Chaos, 9 Pride of Jenni. I thought about throwing Fangirl in, but she can fuck off. And we'll come home with 3 Ruby Flyer, 6 Willaidow, and 16 is scratched. She's out. So let's throw Battleton in. No, it's Dylan Gibbons. Let's leave him out. Let's throw Money of the Sky in. He'll be scratched as well. $100 will get you about nearly 40% with those scratchings in there.
Well, I am disappointed that you didn't take me and mine and Johnny's 3rd leg.
Who?
Tip.
What?
Just Pride of Jenni.
Didn't I put Pride of Jenni in?
Just 1 out.
Did I leave her out? Oh, 1 out. Yeah, she's all right. If you want to go 1 out, I'm all for it. Yeah. You would be shocked to know that Pride of Jenni is my best. Race 9, number 9. And my value is that Waller pair in the 3rd, which would be the 12 Canara and the 3 Good Sort. Beaver. Best in value.
Yeah, I'm going to be different because you've gone Pride of Jenni, and I didn't want to go with it.
Well, if I don't, Willaidow was the other one that I.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go Willaidow. I think we can finish today strong. So that's going to be my on top of there, and now I've lost what my value is, and my value was race 8, number 12, Stretan Angel.
Yeah,
good bet.
Complete DF there, absolutely. Johnny, you got a best in value.
I'll make my 2 best, race 2, number 3, Ducasse, and race 3, number 2, Dominetta. And I can't tip something at 60s and not make my best value. So in the last, Ruby Flyer.
Absolutely, that sounds good to me. My back teeth are floating, so I'm going to go and relieve that while before we do Caulfield. Right, we've got to head to Caulfield. Johnny and Beaver and Daggy with you to look at this as well for Caulfield Cup Day. That's a pretty big race. Isn't it crazy, actually? Well, since I've been doing the show, I guess, you always get the questions about, you got a tip for this race, whatever. The Everest is clearly second to Melbourne Cup now.
Yeah.
I get asked heaps about the Everest, And obviously you get the usual calls on Melbourne Cup Day. You'd be the same, Beaver. Do you find that Everest is like they've done a great job with it?
Yeah,
nothing else.
100%.
It's sold out. This way you go?
No.
Yeah. Johnny, you go?
Yeah, I'll be there. I snuck in before they cut off tickets.
Good job. But amazing. The first time it's sold out in 7 years. The old man, I assume, will be out there.
No, he's going away, so he's not fucking happy.
Oh, okay. Poor bugger.
Yes.
I hate when life gets no racing.
Yeah, I know. So he's going away, so won't be happy, but he'll find somewhere to posse up and some of the crew and get on the punt.
Is it worrying for the Melbourne Cup that the Everest is going so good?
Oh, I think Melbourne Cup's still the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
I think people half in racing care about the Everest, and everyone cares about Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
I think, whereas us desperates care about everything.
Yeah.
But great to see it sold out.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse than going out there and standing in there and singing I was Sweet Caroline out after Magic Round, so I don't need to hear it again.
It's a double-edged sword that it's sold out.
You did last year, didn't you?
Everest? Yeah.
Or year before?
Last year.
How was the experience?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not a massive fan when it gets too packed out at Randwick. You
I'd
can't
rather-
get a beer. You
It's
can't
the worst
get a
track
feed.
for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Haven't
mate.
they? Honestly, we went.
you're lucky
Dead
to
set,
get
they built a
pie.
$20 million fucking grandstand and forgot to put toilets in.
Everything's in like the worst position.
Yeah,
It's the
it
dumbest
makes-
thing ever. I
But
hate going there, and I'm there every
Remember we
week.
were there for Black Caviar Day
Oh, that was
20
still the
years
best.
ago.
Yeah.
And there was so much space. You could have 100,000 there. So much for the old bookie ring and this, that, and the other. We sat at the top of the members.
But you can't even get some decent food.
No.
Like,
And you got to go out
it's
to the little
unbelievable.
portaloos for a piss.
Yeah.
Because you can't get. There's no toilets.
But
up the far end.
I went to the Cup last year, and it was probably close to the worst experience I've had in my life.
Yeah, I
When
went Derby Day a couple of years ago. Not fun.
Not fun at all.
No.
Mate, the queue to get a beer was seriously 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's why
was
Warwick
a
Farm's the
joke.
best
What for?
track in
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah,
Because no one goes.
I love it.
They've got to do
I can go into my
But for
thumbs.
big race days, you've got to do better.
Yeah,
Hun-
absolutely.
Seriously, I
100%.
got there, had one beer at 11 o'clock, went to turn around and get my next one. It was like, mate, the queue went that far.
Yeah.
Asked someone in the queue how long you've been in the queue. They said an hour and a half.
Yeah, fuck that.
Like, which is okay if you're a youngster and you don't want to watch racing. But,
Yeah.
mate, I waited till everyone jumped to go to bloody... As soon as the Cup finished, I jumped on the queue because everyone wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
nuts.
I agree. I agree with all of that. I just got to plug the escarpment camp quality. Google that escarpment. I'll plug it later when I find out what the hell it's called. And let's talk about Caulfield instead because we're talking shit now. There's rain coming.
That's unusual.
I think we're getting
Lots
to
of
heavy.
rain.
The track goes out 3 meters, so we skip the 2 fast lanes on the inside, and rain all day. Well, I think rain tonight, rain all day tomorrow. And Caulfield has not held up well to that. I think the inside's going to end up no good. Beaver, would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. You're probably going to be wanting a bit off the fence.
We kick off with a 1,400 metre 3-odd race for the boys. And who wants to have first crack here?
I'm happy to go because I thought I found a good bet. I'm happy with Taken. He's third up here, up to the 1,400. Absolute car crash stuck on the inside at the Valley last start. And there's a lot of pace here, and he gets a perfect map to kind of finally stretch his legs and really hit the line. I thought it was a pretty good form race as well, and you're always kind of hesitant to take the unlucky horse, but I thought he had genuine excuses. He's gone up, I think he's still double figures, if not $9 at the moment. So I thought it was a great bet in this field, especially when I could kind of poke some holes at the top end of the market.
You're a Sugarcoat fan.
I am.
Are you sticking?
I'm going to stick
Yeah.
because I thought 2 starts back, I thought that was a super impressive win. I thought it would win, and I was disappointed last start that it didn't win because I was pretty confident that it would. So that left me, but I think the horse that might have beaten it might be...
Proper, that's a good horse.
A proper horse. So I'm okay with that. I think gate 11 is good because I think it's going to be off the fence. It's got pace. It may be outside the lead or just behind it, and I think that's perfect for it. So I think it can win.
I am with Sugarcoat as well. I know what you found first up, and I think and the Dole who beat it is half a Guineas chance. Like, he's going into that level of
Nice
racing. And it was $1.85 fave beaten there, gap to third. I think gets perfect run here, just camps straight behind the Gay Bot runner and gets first crack and starts us off well. I think the Gay Bot runner is a danger. Katogio went down there, broke its maiden. Trial Since was very nice and can kick off that, and I agree with Taken. They're the 3 I sort of gravitated to in the first. The second is a 200 metre listed Gothic Stakes, and we were both giving Stolly Bolly a chance in Sydney last week. was kept here, gets Mickey D, gets a Swooper's Gate. It's a deep field out of a Spirit of Boom mare, so it should swim and should it be wet. And all systems go here. $6.50 is deep in the prep is maybe the concern, but I think it gets through the conditions, and I think it's a very good each-way play. Reserve Bank, the obvious danger, all but one last time out. Wins a stride either side of the post. Gallant Sun, next best, is favourite. Has 2 lengths to turn around on Stolly Bolly, but as I was saying to Johnny earlier, get Zach Purton, so it's probably 2 lengths worth there. So, interesting race, but I think Stolly Bolly at $6, $6.50 is a fair enough each-way bet. Beav?
Yeah, fair enough each-way bet. I'm going to go Reserve Bank. I'm going to stick there. I thought it was home last start, and the other horse got up the inside and just nutted it on the line. You're right, a bob either way. I think it'll be improved by that. If third up, I think if it's got any improvement, it'll be winning this as long as there wasn't too much taken out of it there, which I don't think so. I think it's going to improve a length or two here, and that should be enough.
Yeah, I've got Gallant Sun on top, but I don't see how that's $3.50 and Stolly Ball is $6.50. Like you said. Going from, was it Linda Meach on top? First up, sorry, for Gallant Sun, going to Zach Purton is worth plenty. And going Blake Shin back to Mickey D is not as significant, and you're getting double the price. So if I had a bet, it'd be Stolly Bolly each way. But I do have Gallant Sun on top, and I've got those obviously tied in together in the Reserve Bank just after that.
Good little race.
Yeah.
Gallant Sun did start favourite in that race, which is probably where the swing they've found there is.
They're stuck with it.
And second up, so.
Yeah. The third is the Sportsbet Classic, which used to be on the Wednesday as well, but now is here. Lead up to the Derby, 2,000 metres. Beaver, we were both keen on Keeneland last time out. Is there any reason to change?
No reason to change here. That was a good win. 2 starts back, came out and went under pressure, and they started to come at it there. It was still going the strongest on the line. If you ask me, it's a genuine Derby horse here, and it want to be probably winning this if it's going to be a contender there, and no reason it can't. Flying at the moment, good horse, and hard to beat.
Agree. Clearly on top. Can either jump lead win or can find something like Red Aces or something, might even push over. It's on top. Easy bet to have. And I actually thought West Indies coming from the Kembla form.
Oh, Adrian.
Go on, do it. You know you want to.
I mean, to be
40
fair,
it shouldn't be 40-1 in this field.
Yeah, look, in
After he's
saying
off
that though,
Bairnsdale.
in saying that, it should have lost to Bush Girl because Jeff Penza was playing Dodgem cars half down the straight. It was an awful race. But also in saying that, I've gone the other way. I've gone with Red Aces just purely because it's going to be an absolute bog and he's a done deal third up. So that kind of swings it back in his favour. I thought he had plenty of excuses down the straight. And he hit the line really nicely after being asked to go again. But they're two clearly on top. And I think if you back both of them, you're going to walk out with some extra money.
Well, as it's, market right is simply my notes there. And, all right, the third is the fillies version, the 2,000 metre ethereal stakes in the wet here. Johnny, I haven't gone to you early for a while.
Yeah, so I like Killcare Beach Girl, purely because it's gone from John McNeil to TC. I was keen on it last time, even though it was 12 to 1,600 straight away, but just the way it kept sticking onto the line, I was a big fan of it, and it was screaming out for distance, and it finds it here. Also going to Caulfield should suit it, very much so, being on pace. So, plus the blinkers off, I think she can settle really nicely in front. For Timmy Clark of all jockeys, I don't think there's much competition. I think she's a bit skinny in price, so I wouldn't be rushing into it and kind of see what happens late. But I think as a profile, she was one that I had on top, but I do think it's a pretty wide open race for sure.
Definitely a wide open race, and a tricky one at that. I've gone for number 7, All Kinds of Folk, fourth up here. I liked the way it hit the line last start. I thought it was pretty good. It was only a length and a half behind the favourite. And I thought it finished off quite nicely there. I like the fact now it gets out to the 2,000. I think it's building, and I think around the $8 mark you might get a little bit better. I think it presents some value.
Won't be a maiden for long.
100%.
Nice horse.
Yeah, those were barrier trials, those first couple of runs for it.
Yeah,
too.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll give you a third option here, Hurry Curry. The Waikato, I am a sucker for a Waikato stud horse, but rode a hot pace at Bairnsdale and won well. Then had the absolute PR, I understand, over the 1,800 metres, but it was an 800-metre run and did bolt in there. It's each way. It's an ocean park, which will swim. And yeah, the old New Zealand suffix will make sure it stays 2,000 metres. So I'm going to put it on top, and I agree with everything you've said about the dangers here. Which a comment, both of you, we haven't, none of us have tipped the fave, but just it doesn't feel like a race where the best horse can win, the best stayer might win. Is that your sort of opinion, or?
Yeah, I think it's a different setup to what it was.
To what it had.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a winning chance, but like I said, they're probably both, that my tip, Killcare Beach Girl and that, are probably tied together, and that's keeping their prices short. I definitely agree with both of you. I think they're both good. Hurry Curry, actually, I probably overlooked. I was on it last start. Really nice horse. Yeah.
Yeah, the only knock was it was a complete PR, but a perfect run. But yeah. The fifth is the Alini Stakes, 1,100 metres. Sprint race here. Is Gate 1 a concern for Isthmus, Beaver?
Could be a slight concern for it, but I'm going to stick with it. I just think it's flying at the moment. This is a quality horse. Love how the stable's going. Look, it's had the right run in the first two starts. I think it can get the right run here. Just get off the fence, track into it, and I think it'll be super hard to beat. One that I was always keen to see it second up was Passagiata. I don't think its first up run was as bad as what it potentially looked. And that was in a pretty good field. I think it can run well here, and got it as, with Clark on board, as the main danger.
Yep. Yeah, I thought Isthmus was the definite standout. Barrier 1 might be tricky, but I really like Niance. I think she's a really nice, lightly raced 5-year-old mare. I think she's drawn well. Nice click-up trial heading into this. I think Fresh is pretty good. I think there's a lot of deadwood in this race as well. So any kind of progression off what she's done already, I think puts her right into this. And there's been a bit of market support early, which I like. So, yeah, and the Beg-Childs combination weirdly works. It's a pretty potent combo down there. So, yep, that's where I'm leaning at the moment. But Isthmus, definitely a chance. And interesting, I said earlier how I had Sunshine in Paris coming through Chinny Boom when they were second start.
Yeah.
They've just gone completely opposite ways. I think Chinny Boom's done.
Yeah, Chinny's done. The thing with the thing is fillies and mares, you just can't get rid of them. They don't, if they go no good, they go no good. There's no sort of in between.
Yep.
Isthmus from Niance for me, and the other one I'll make the case for is Gumdrops. It was a better run than people think first up. It was held up, and this is a thin race. But Isthmus, if it overcomes Gate 1, is a nice horse.
She's the class Gumdrops, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
nice horse. The Guineas Prelude 400 metre Group 2 is up next, and a very tricky race given it's a wet track as well. But who's going to tip GG's Mistruth first? Put your hand up. Right.
Yeah.
One of you talk about it.
This is not tricky at all. This was really quick for me. That last start was outstanding, mate. That should have won that race. I'm filthy because I backed it. And
Bellatrix has done all right since.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been waiting for it to start again, and this is it. And this is perfect. I mean, outside of Amina, this race is soft. Soft. I can't believe $4, $4.20 at the moment. Gate 12's perfect. It's going to get the right part of the track. If there's any sting out the ground, which they're saying there will be, it's had 2 from 2 on the soft. This is just cherry ripe here. If this doesn't win, I could jump off the gap.
Wow, okay. Wow, all right. What do you got for us?
I've played there plenty of times. You seem to bounce back
They've
sometimes.
named a rock after me there. So.
I see it exactly the same way. I feel like the wide barrier's given us $4, but like you said, I like that because even though the 1,400 metre start at Caulfield, it can get tricky. I think it's $1 for there to be a 3-wide line. Yep. I think it's been crying out for some distance, and it's been putting some good fields away over something short of its best. You look at its run against half this field, and you can tell she's the class of those. So I'm very keen on GG's Mistruth as well. I couldn't really make a case for much else. I mean, it comes down from Sydney, and I'm usually keen on taking the Sydney form, but Tasselt filly.
Tasselt's going away. Do they go anywhere?
His stats are pretty good, but to the eye, I just don't see it. And he's a young sire, so it's not like they're being tested in like good company in wet tracks. So, but I think 1,400 stretching her as well. I think her map's tricky. I don't think her getting back is going to be as suitable as GG's Mistruth. So, and then the rest of them, you can tie lines through GG. I'm with you. I'll be holding your hand as we jump off the gap if she doesn't get up.
I'll let you guys follow because I thought it was my starting point was Matisse, but then Zetang gave it a start and a beating, so I had it as top pick, and I thought it was the worst ride almost the worst ride I've ever seen on a mean the last start out. A horse that's led up the straight over 1,200, and Chad decided to sit 2 lengths last. Amina's a proper horse here. Amina's a proper horse.
She's a lovely horse as well.
And I just didn't know what to do in the wet. I would almost declare it here. I'll follow you two, whatever. Go.
Oh, don't. Please don't.
All right, I'll watch you two bet.
I was going to hug you when you weren't going to back it.
All right, we'll tip this. We'll tip the sexy Italian Andrea Aztini on Zayton.
Thank you.
From Amina for me. But listen to those blokes because tricky race. Quarter kicks off with the Millennium Sprint.
Not tricky.
All right, over 1,000 metres in a very fast race here, and I'll go first. Why not? I'm going to tip Spacewalk. He just camps behind the bit of pace up front here. We've got Scuderia, Katsu, Way to the Stars, Australia all pushing forward. And Spacewalk just goes a zot. It's got Joe Moreira, gets through the wet. The trials, it always trials really well. It's $11. I'll put it on top from Sans Doute, who got bogged in the heavy last time out and may get bogged again. So if it is, we'll go around that. But better horse than what it showed last time out. And Ray Vignerio, very good, honest horse here. And again, not sure about the wet. I just thought Spacewalk was a little bit, at $11, felt a little bit bulletproof as an each-way bet. Johnny?
Yeah, I love that you've said all that because that's the exact reason why I've said Estrella is the lay of the day.
Well, we're now 7 races in, gate 1, and a pace horse with a shit ton of pace over 1,000 metres.
And even though she's perceivably dropping back in grade, I understand why she's 350, but I'm so keen to be against her because she's going up a few kilos. She's going to be third up. She's going to be in the wet, and there's so much pressure in this race that it kind of sets it up for every horse that you mentioned. So, like you, I had Spacewalk penciled in here. I think it's a great each-way bet, but my one bet guaranteed is to lay Estrella.
Okay, very good. Beaver, you want to tip Estrella, are you?
No, 100% not. I'm with you guys. I thought exactly the same. I thought it was unders. I didn't like the gate, and I don't think the form was enough to get that excited about it here. I've gone for Ray.
I thought you would.
I just think it's a good horse, and I think here sets up quite nicely here. I thought the main danger was Midtown Boss resuming here. I think it's an outside chance. I'll have that as my saver with Raymond Agenario, my on-topper.
The Group 2 Tristarc Stakes for the girls is over 1,400 metres, race 8. Beaver, you can have first crack.
Yeah, look.
Does the trifecta from the lead-up fight it out again?
100%. I thought those three had it to themselves again. I thought they were the ones to watch. I think the draw now suits a horse like Miss Aria a little bit better than Revolutionary Miss. Miss Aria is a horse I like, and so therefore I'm going to put it on top. It's the best of the value there. I thought
the Zoostar out of Benaria.
You had me at Zoostar.
Does scream wet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So that's why I've got it on top. I thought
good
it was
horse, Benaria. Do you remember her? She's a good little horse. Anyway, stop distracting you.
My memory's not very good.
No, mine neither.
Oh, yeah, it went all right. Yep.
Old mate trained at the old fella. Old Payne? Old mate? Anyway, move on.
But I've got Miss Ari on top. I think Revolutionary Miss can run a good race in Skybird. Bit worried about the draw for Skybird in Gate 3, which might prove a bit of a factor.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I thought it was pretty easy to like the top, but I don't know why I wrote to Arataki's 40s. Third up here. I think she's got this kind of race in her, especially at the price.
And can lead this almost.
Yeah, I think she's drawn perfectly. She's versatile. She can go forward. She can kind of take a sit. She shouldn't hate the conditions at all. And Jamie Mott's riding fine enough for her. She's lightly raced as a 6-year-old. I think it's a great bet at 35s. If I had a bet at the top end of the market, for me, it's plenty of ammo. I thought she was good first up, but I couldn't really split them enough to have a strong opinion.
I'm going Miss Aria from Quinn. If it's better than heavy, Quintessa bounces back here because you get Zach Burton, Stalking Gate, best horse. But they did blame the heavy conditions last time out. We'll just see how wet it is. I don't like Gate 3 Sky, but I think Revolution Miss is just the box seat stalker that just puts itself there and everyone else has to beat it. And so make it the main danger. The 9th is the feature, the time-honoured Caulfield Cup, 2,400 metre handicap. And look, I don't think it's the deepest race you've ever seen, and I've spent the last few weeks bagging most of these stayers. But it is an interesting race, and they're running it, so we may as well bet into it. Johnny, you can have first crack at it.
I'm glad to have first crack because I know I'm going to name a horse that you're going to mention at some point, but I'm actually with you this time. So,
okay.
Calipore at 100 and ones. He won a
I've
Tancred.
had nothing to do with you.
All right, so he's at 100 and ones. He's won a Tancred in the other group race that he won. I can't remember, but he beat Buckaroo home, and one's $420 and one's $101. He finally gets a good draw. I think he's got blinkers first time.
Quick backup.
I think there's enough there to go at 101s. Like, why wouldn't you? But back
You
in
really convinced me to put a couple of bucks on it. I'm disgusted in myself.
I just don't
Watch it win the
understand.
Melbourne Cup, and none of us have anything to do. None of us will touch
No,
ourselves
I'm going to
like
be
that.
on because you've tipped it every
No.
freaking show.
It's 100 to 1.
It's 100 to 1. I don't understand why he's 101. Because I was looking through the race, and I'm like, oh, look, at his best, he's probably a 30, 20's chance.
It should have won a Metro. It
What
should have
about
run in a
Berkshire
Metro.
Breeze at 70s here? It was $1.20 a few starts
I know.
back.
Yeah.
It should be
So
70s,
clearly the
yeah.
market's got
Good
no
strike.
idea. So Calipore at 100 ones, I think, is a
Francisco Guardia was favourite last year.
Anyway, that was a weird one for me. But back in reality, I've got look. There's the Turnbull form, and whether you want to go with that
Metro
or
form.
if you want to go the Metro form, I've gone the Metro form.
Hot race.
Purely because I think those two horses are looking for 24 and further in case of Land Legend. I thought
And it's a 2,400 metre lead up.
as a 2,400 metre lead up as well. Look, taking into account Buckaroo and Elias, I think they're 2,000 metre horses. I thought Buckaroo had a complete PR last time. He had the perfect run. I thought he peaked a little bit late.
That's what was my concern.
And Via Sistina, Damon Land said she wasn't going that great. And yes, she's a quality mare, but she rallied back to beat him. And I took that as a bit of a negative for Buckaroo. And I don't feel like this was a target at all. They've just found out that he's good, and they've gone, we'll just keep throwing him in these races, and he keeps rocking up.
Yeah.
But I
Because,
think-
you know why? Because V will go to Cox Plate, and it's like, well, we've got to run him somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So, and like with Alias, I don't know whether he's a 2,500 man horse, but whether he is or not, he's got to contest with that wide gate, and I think it's going to be pretty tricky. Not because I don't think wide's going to be good. I think wide's going to be great on the day, but he's just going to have to work himself into that race, stepping up. I think it's tough.
It's tricky to lead from wide.
Yes. Yeah, and he's definitely going to have some horses booting underneath him. Deny Knowledge one, obviously.
Deny Knowledge 100% goes forward here.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure.
Goes forward, and Duke Ducasse will go forward because
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got
blah.
kind of like the warmongers of the race where I think they're dour and they need that 3,200. And this just finds a beautiful sweet spot, Zardozi and Land Legend. If the inside's cast, I can pen Land Legend, I can go Zardozi. She has looked awful all prep. She rocked up last time and I said she improved by 3 lengths. She looked magnificent. And that doesn't count in the protest room, but she's back on track. And I think this was a target race. So I think they're the only two I like, plus Calipore. We'll wait till the day.
Yeah, interesting summation. Similar lines to me, to be honest. I come down with 2 that I liked and one that I was keen to watch. I've landed on Buckaroo, right? Okay. And I'll tell you why. I backed it last start and it hit the front and I thought it peaked on its run and VSS Standard kicked up the inside. I thought I was home. And I was disappointed and I thought 2,000 and then I went and I looked at this field and I came back and I went 2,400. I'm concerned. But then I looked at the way this field's going to set out and I thought, is it really that strong a field when I'm looking at class? Yep. And I look at a horse like Buckaroo or something and I think gate 8, he might just get the perfect set, perfect cover and it can just get tagged into the race and not have to expend any energy that'll allow it to see the 2,400 out. And it's got the best turn of foot out of all the horses this field, right? Yep. So I landed on that purely on the basis it gets the right run, gets the right tag into the race and can go ping and hit the front and hold on. And it won't have a horse like Via Sistina chasing her who's just...
We've recovered the camera and Beaver was just saying you're not going to have Via Sistina tagging Buckaroo.
Yeah, so Buckaroo's not going to have a horse like Via Sistina chasing here. I think it can win and I think it can probably hold them off because I just can't see any... there doesn't look to be super powerful horses chasing here. So I had it on top. I think Zardozi is the main danger. I think it's now nearing its peak. I think the sting out of the ground is perfect if and when there is a bit of sting out of the ground. Jockey's a bit of a worry, but from gate 12, but we'll see how that goes under Australian conditions. So I had those two sort of fighting it out. Couple of ones that I'm keen to look at is Warmonger. Obviously, this is preparing for a Melbourne Cup. It'll have to show something here to get my interest for the Cup, but obviously in the market there and third up, so perfect here. And I'm keen to see Sadaddy. First up here, if that's how you say it.
Close enough.
The Mar horse coming from overseas. Just to watch on it. It won't have to be the best overseas horse to come here and run well in a Caulfield Cup. So that's me.
Well, as good man Steve Chester said before we started the show, how many A-grade horses are actually in this race? And you could say maybe 3. And you've made the case for Buckaroo, maybe 4. I'll make the case for Zardozi.
Maybe 2. I think there's 2 A-grade
There you go.
horses.
Is that Zardozi and Buckaroo?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Land Legend you can say, but I just saw Gate 1 and penned. Yep. So that was it. I know it's Zach Burton. So I was left with Zardozi on top. I think the Metrop, those two were hot form. I think Clear Air, I got no issue with it. Well, last time he was here, young Andrea Adzini won the Sydney Cup, I think, on Circle of Fire. Was his last ride in Australia.
Is that the same person?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I went and Googled. Good Italian man. And I'm going to say the Danger's Buckaroo, as you said. But I do have concern at 2,500 metres. I think it's a miler. Do you think it's a miler? And Warmonger has to improve, and the wet suits. We saw it in the wet up in Queensland where it destroyed a field. And the internationals are scary because it's such an awful race. And Deny Knowledge probably goes in the quarter because it'll lead off a quick backup off a fast pace a very good pace last week. Anything else?
No.
Calipore goes into.
You've kind of brought me around on Buckaroo. I think that maybe that little pack chase until the last 400 and...
It's going to sit. It reminds me like of a Saintly or something, a little bit along that style.
Yeah.
Just was able to sit and then boom.
Yeah, good shout.
200 metre, 300 metre sprint, if it's just allowed to be saved up. If the pressure goes on early and it's got to make a sustained run, you're probably screwed.
Yep.
And Joe Moreira, just lovely hands.
Yeah.
You'll be right.
Yeah.
$4, but where else do we go? I don't know, but $4 felt short.
You'll get
$5,
I think there'll be some
bet.
resistance for sure. Yeah. And then he'll come back in.
Is the weather concern? What is he?
No, handles
Fast
it.
Rock.
He'll be fine.
The last is the Munga. Group 3, 1,400 metres. Set weights and penalties races always lead you to the top of the field, and that's where I went. I went for Pinstriped. Pulled up lame last time out. Last time it was track and distance. Won the Rupert Clark. And Gentleman Roy going really well. Gets Mickey D. Probably going to push forward. And is the main danger. The horse, is back. I thought that was about it. Coastwatch going Mike Waddy. I don't know what else I want to talk about. Globe might be untapped, but we'll just go for the top ones for now. There's going to be enough pace for the best horses to show their best wares should they handle the conditions. Beaver?
Yeah, I went Pinstriped as well. I'm pretty keen. Kind of had it in the Willaidow.
Memsy was.
Bucket for the last in Sydney. So I think that's right. I think this sets up good. It's Excuses last start. I had Globe as the main danger, but I think we can get the last 4 winners. I think we can go.
You keen, are you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to multi Buckaroo, Pinstripe, Willaidow, and Pride of Jenni.
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough. And get a price.
So I'll get a bit of a price there when I'll get 2, 6,
I'll be able to
18, $20, close to hundreds.
Johnny, what do you like in this while I multi this up?
I'm going to be weird and suggest laws of indices. I've always liked the horse, but he's a bit of a dumbass, so you never know. But he's up in trip. He gets a great map, and he's on a wet deck. So obviously had the 2 class horses on top, but I was just trying to see if I could find something that I could get interested on the day, just because they are a bit short and coming off either a break or a setback. So, but betting, if you were betting on these horses at their best, clear top 2. Gentleman Roy and Pinstripe, but laws of indices, and you're pointing at something dashing.
All right, we'll move on.
Okay.
Ain't no deal done. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, ain't no deal done. I'll be interested to see how he runs. Definitely not a winning race for him now, but off a long... I think he's off for a year or something.
Yeah.
And he was the Spruik horse for a while, so...
The multi-beaver suggested is, $97 here. Obviously, you find boosts and prices out wide. You get 100 to 1. Pinstripe, Buckaroo, Pride of Jenni, Willaidow, and that sounds right to me, to be honest. But you can give us your quaddie for Caulfield Cup Day if you like, Beaver.
I will do that. See how we go here, hey? I'm going to go first leg, which is race 7, no particular order. 2, Spacewalk. Number 5, Katsu. Number 8, Ray Maginario. And 9, Midtown Boss. The second leg, which is race 8, I'm going to go number 2, Revolutionary Miss. Number 4, Skybird. Number 9, Miss Aria. I'm going to throw number 7, Perfect in.
Mickey D's a go-to jockey, or to go-to local jockey by a long way now, isn't he?
Yeah. The Caulfield Cup, I'm going to go number 2, Buckaroo, number 8, Land Legend, number 13, Zardozi, and number 18, Say Daddy. I'd like to have more, but I just struggling to find which one. I'd be just needle in a haystack.
Caliport.
I'll chuck Caliport in
Why
for
not?
you boys.
Why not?
Yeah, forgot
Imagine
about
that.
him. Sorry, fellas. Stupid of me. And in the last...
Go away from the last.
I've never wanted a horse to win so bad.
I'm going to go number 1, Pinstripe, number 2, Gentleman Roy, number 13, Aegon, and number 17, Globe.
I'm so excited for me to have nothing on Caliport in the Melbourne Cup and it to win at hundreds.
Because it's going to be so disappointing.
And then I'll go find Beaver at the Gap.
Yeah, you'll find me there.
Yeah, it'll do nothing this week, but watch it win the Cup where I just go, I'm done.
Yep.
I know how my life works. Best and value, anyone? Who wants to go first, Johnny?
Best and value. Best is GG Smith Truth in race 6. Yeah, join me.
My boy Johnny.
And my value, I've got 3. I've got race 8, Roast Arataki. I've got Caliport in the Cup, and I've got Laws of Indices in the last.
I feel guilty about leading everyone down this path. All right, Beaver, what have you got?
My best, race 6, number 3, GG Smith Truth.
Caliport went to Caulfield Cup.
I've had flashbacks from 3 minutes ago, and I'm just regretting everything.
What a show. I do like Keeneyland as well.
Yeah.
And my value bet was race 4, number 7, All Kinds of Folk.
Best race 3, number 1, Keeneland. Race 7, number 2, Spacewalk will run well at the double figures. Anything from, you got the provincials before we get to the King in the North. Anything from Campbell you had a look or not really?
I think it's Newey, and the track's playing weird, so it's a kind of wait and bet. I do have the most random bet in the world. Race 4 Nowra on Sunday. It was a trialist that I've been keeping an eye on, Haberfield. Finally makes it to the races. On debut, 23s went up. She's into 15s already. I think she's a decent chance in a weird maiden. So, Nowra.
Well, Bustling's the horse. I'm looking at. Beaver, what have you got at Eagle Farm?
Yeah, I think I was on fire at Eagle.
Last week,
Brisbane last week.
Yeah, didn't someone get the multi?
Yeah,
Paulie
some
got the
bloke was
multi,
loving
yeah.
it. Anyway, let's see how we go. Don't want to disappoint this week. Race 5, number 8, Talk Time is a tip. I'm going to go race 7, number 8, Cigar Flick. Resuming, I think you can run well.
One of mine.
What's it doing up there? Winning, I hope.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Does have to beat Bubba's Baby, yeah.
Now you got me fucked. Now I've lost where I'm at. Are you? I had one earlier. There it is. Race 6, number 1, End Assembly.
Okay, very good. That's it. Thank you guys for sticking around. It's been a long show. Thank you, Johnny, for joining us.
Pleasure. Yeah.
We will be back to do it again for the Cox Plate next week. Should we do this again for Cox Plate?
Sounds
good
good.
to
Why
me.
not?
Yep.
Thank you, guys. Subscribe, leave us some feedback. Tell us we've got no idea. Tell us where you meet us at the Gap or whatever. And we will talk to everyone sometime next week. See you guys.
Roughly Saturday, 7.